The Federal Emergency Management Agency, better known as FEMA, stands as a beacon of hope for Americans facing the unpredictable wrath of natural disasters. Founded in 1979, FEMA's mission is clear: to help people before, during, and after disasters. It's a promise etched into the fabric of American society that when disaster strikes, the nation will come together to support those in need. From hurricanes and floods to wildfires and earthquakes, FEMA is tasked with coordinating the federal government's response, providing essential aid, and helping communities rebuild. However, the reality of FEMA's performance has often fallen short of its intended purpose. Recent disasters, including Hurricane Helene and the devastating California wildfires, have exposed significant flaws in the agency's ability to deliver timely and effective assistance. These failures have sparked a national conversation about the future of disaster relief in America, with some calling for a complete overhaul of the system. Hurricane Helene, a powerful Category 4 storm, slammed into the Carolina coast in 2024, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Homes were reduced to rubble, businesses were destroyed, and entire communities were left reeling. FEMA, despite ample warning, was slow to respond, leaving many victims left stranded without access to food, water, or shelter for days. The agency's response to the California wildfires, which raged across the state, was similarly inadequate. Thousands of homes were lost, and countless lives were upended. Yet FEMA's response was plagued by delays, bureaucratic hurdles, and a lack of coordination, leaving many fire victims feeling abandoned and forgotten. These recent disasters have served as stark reminders of the human cost of FEMA's shortcomings. They have also fueled growing skepticism about the agency's ability to effectively handle the increasing frequency and intensity of natural disasters in a rapidly changing climate. Navigating FEMA's bureaucracy can feel like a second disaster. The application process is complex and time-consuming, requiring extensive documentation, often lost in the disaster. Delays in processing applications leave families in limbo for weeks or months, pushing vulnerable individuals further into poverty and despair. The bureaucratic hurdles faced by disaster victims seeking FEMA assistance exacerbate the trauma and undermine the agency's mission. In the wake of FEMA's widely criticized response to recent disasters, President Donald Trump has once again reignited the debate over the agency's future. Trump, known for his unconventional approach to governance, has long been a vocal critic of FEMA, arguing that the agency is bloated, inefficient, and ill-equipped to handle the demands of modern disaster response. His solution: dismantle FEMA and redirect its funding directly to state and local governments. Trump's proposal, while controversial, is rooted in the belief that states are better positioned to respond to disasters within their borders. He argues that state and local officials have a better understanding of the unique needs of their communities and are therefore more likely to deliver aid quickly and efficiently. Furthermore, Trump contends that eliminating the federal middleman will reduce bureaucracy, cut costs, and empower states to take ownership of their disaster preparedness and response efforts. The Lone Star Model. Texas takes charge. Proponents of state-led disaster relief often point to Texas as a prime example of this model's effectiveness. Texas, a state prone to hurricanes, floods, and other natural disasters, has developed a robust disaster management system that emphasizes local control and self-reliance. When Hurricane Harvey devastated the Texas Gulf Coast in 2017, the state's response was widely praised for its speed and efficiency. Governor Greg Abbott activated the Texas Military Department, deploying thousands of National Guard troops and state resources to affected areas. The state also established a $1 billion disaster relief fund, providing immediate financial assistance to individuals, families, and businesses. Texas's proactive and decentralized approach allowed it to bypass much of the bureaucratic red tape that often hampers federal disaster response, ensuring that aid reached those in need quickly and effectively. The Sunshine State's success. Florida's approach to disaster management. Florida frequently faces hurricanes and has a proactive disaster management approach. The state invests in preparedness with strong building codes and an advanced alert system. Florida's National Guard is well trained and quickly supports local responders. During Hurricane Michael in 2018, Florida's preparedness was tested. The response was swift and coordinated. Governor Rick Scott mobilized resources to ensure residents had essential supplies. Florida's experience shows the importance of leadership and preparedness in disaster response. The cost of bureaucracy versus local control. One of the most compelling arguments for dismantling FEMA and shifting disaster relief to the states is the potential for cost savings. Critics of the current system argue that FEMA is a bloated bureaucracy, burdened by layers of administration and wasteful spending. They point to examples of FEMA funds being mismanaged, misallocated, or even awarded to fraudulent claims. By contrast, proponents of state-led disaster relief argue that states can provide more efficient and cost-effective assistance. They contend that states with their local knowledge and expertise are better equipped to assess needs, allocate resources, and prevent fraud, waste, and abuse. Furthermore, they argue that states are more accountable to their citizens and are therefore more likely to prioritize efficient and effective disaster relief spending. The potential of state-led disaster response. The debate over the future of disaster relief in America ultimately boils down to a fundamental question: what level of government is best equipped to protect and assist citizens in times of crisis? Proponents of state-led disaster relief argue that empowering states with the resources and flexibility to manage their own disaster response is the most effective way to ensure the safety and well-being of all Americans. They envision a future where states, rather than a distant federal agency, are at the forefront of disaster preparedness, response, and recovery. This model, they believe, would lead to faster response times, more efficient resource allocation, and a greater sense of accountability to those directly affected by disasters. A nation prepared, rethinking disaster relief in America. The increasing frequency and intensity of natural disasters, coupled with the ever-present threat of climate change, demand a serious reevaluation of America's approach to disaster management. The status quo, as evidenced by FEMA's recent failures, is simply not sustainable. Whether the solution lies in dismantling FEMA entirely or in significantly reforming the agency's structure and operations remains a subject of intense debate. What is clear, however, is that the current system is broken. As a nation, we must engage in a thoughtful and informed dialogue about the best way to prepare for and respond to the challenges of a world increasingly prone to natural disasters. The lives and livelihoods of millions of Americans depend on it.